It's a new year and we are off to discover more hidden wonders across the world. Today, it's the beautiful Lamom cultural landscape in Mauritius, a picture-perfect UNESCO World Heritage Site which was once a natural fortress that was used as a shelter by runaway slaves in the 18th and 19th centuries. On the show today, generations of culinary excellence touches down in Colombo, how our economy is looking in 2025 and the whimsy and wonderful world of Hermitage. Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Remember to like, subscribe and follow us for more. A major thank you to our partners on the show, Srilanka Life, CDB and The Daily Morning for being amazing as always.
CDB Hybrid Leasing. Enjoy exclusive interest rate and much more for hybrids, plug-in hybrids and EV vehicles.
Looking back at the week that was on CDB Snapshot, high hopes. Sri Lanka targets 3 million tourists and $5 billion in tourism revenue for 2025. Sri Lanka's birth rate declines over the last 11 years. Our annual birth rate has decreased by 100,000 people. The Apeksha Hospital inaugurates the first bone marrow and hematopoietic stem cell transplant unit for children. A new tea plucking umbrella that protects plantation workers from the elements is being introduced. Asia-Pacific frontier markets including Sri Lanka outperform emerging markets in 2024. Sri Lanka has a 49.66% return. The UN Food and Agriculture Organization's Food Price Index dips in December with 127 points averaged. A 7-year-old boy from Zimbabwe is rescued after 5 days in the wilderness of a lion-infested national park. Japan sells a bluefin tuna the size of a motorcycle for $1.3 million during its New Year auction.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.
Welcome to Srilanka Life News Capsule. 2024 was a good year for Sri Lanka. We went into deflation after a 7% peak early in the year. Our official reserves went from $4.4 billion to $6.5 billion. We've been making our payments and the central bank has bought forex at a historic level while our currency appreciated by 10%. Our current account has a surplus and the budget's primary balance has improved. Investors have renewed interest, it seems. What can we expect from our economy going into 2025? Here to discuss is Dr. Sujitha Jagadevan, the Director of Economic Research at the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. How much of an impact has the global economic performance had on Sri Lanka?
It has been relatively favorable compared to previous years. If you talk about the key items that the country is importing, especially the key commodity items like crude oil, LP gas and coal, the prices have come down compared to last year. So the country has benefited from that. Our import bills on these items have been lower and that has been passed through to domestic prices with some reduction in petrol and other fuel prices. Geopolitical tension is creating some uncertainties on the way forward, even though current projections suggest that the crude oil and major other energy prices are going to be lower over the medium term. We never know. The US election outcomes and the change in policies in US can have favorable as well as unfavorable impact on Sri Lanka. We will have to wait and see.
What are the key takeaways from Sri Lanka's economic performance in 2024?
For Sri Lanka, the biggest problem we had in the past was macroeconomic imbalances and instability that led us to fall into a balance of payment crisis and relying on IMF program continuously, repeatedly. And currently that imbalances have been largely adjusted, corrected, and we have a strong macroeconomic stability at present. So the key takeaway is we shouldn't be reversing from these hard-earned gains. We should continue from this point onwards. And also the history has shown us the importance of building buffers in all sectors, especially the external sector and fiscal sector. Because we are a small open economy, we are prone to external sector shocks. So we should be ready with buffers. So we should build buffers, and since the stability has been restored, now our focus should be on inclusive growth. So that will benefit all segment of the population.
What do you see going forward into 2025 from a macro perspective?
Compared to last few years, we are starting the year with a very strong footing, strong fundamentals on macroeconomic stability and financial system stability. So we should continue with this path. In 2024, we will be growing around 5%, but sustaining that 5% will be difficult for us. There has been output losses because of repeated economic shock. So we have to grow fast to catch up with world. So we should have appropriate growth promoting policies, and we should attract more investment, because last year we relied mostly on program financing and project financing from multilaterals. So we should attract both domestic investment as well as foreign investment, and we should make sure that those investments are utilized in revenue generating and forex generating activities. And we should ensure that we have a better business, doing business conditions in the economy, so that investors will be attracted. By recovering quickly, the country has already created a better image about Sri Lanka. With this policy consistency and addressing corruption vulnerabilities will help us to ensure that we are banking on this stability.
And now, as always, we take a look at our markets this week. After a continuous bull run where it broke all historical records, the all-share price index at the Colombo Stock Exchange finally reversed its momentum this week on a bout of profit-taking. However, the bourse still looks attractive given that the market price-earnings ratio still remains at below 9 times earnings. President Biden's ban on drilling on the entire eastern US Atlantic coast, eastern Gulf of Mexico, Pacific coast and a part of Alaska led to oil prices moving up slightly to $77.50 per barrel. Meanwhile, for the first time ever, wind power overtook natural gas to become UK's largest source of electricity generation for a full year. The US dollar strengthening and 10-year US Treasury yield hitting an 8-month high, showcasing a strong US economy, had gold prices drop slightly to $2,650 per ounce, even as China, the world's top gold consumer, increased its reserves in December for a second consecutive month. 2024 was a good year for wildlife. Humpback whales come back from extinction with 80,000, mountain gorillas are 1,100 strong, and there are now 1,900 giant pandas, 3,500 Bengal tigers, 20,000 white rhinos and 15,000 Sumatran orangutans. Incredible. The Golden Globes will last Sunday, and Hollywood's A-list stars showed up with enough glitz and glamour to fill the night sky. Amari Colombo opened its doors to the famed Italian restaurant chain Prego. Founded by Chef Marco Boscaini, the first Prego restaurant opened in Samui, Thailand, and it's in Thailand that the Prego chain has grown. Prego Colombo is the first restaurant out of Thailand and will echo the chain's authentic home-style Italian cooking, which in fact is built on over 100 years of family recipes and Chef Marco's grandmother's famed risotto, which even won him recognition in the book, The Best 100 Risottos in the World. What is Prego Colombo all about?
Prego Colombo is a part of the big world of Prego, born 22 years ago in Thailand, actually in Koh Samui Island. So after opening several outlets, we decided to move abroad. So we arrived in Prego Colombo. Prego Colombo is a traditional, authentic Italian food. This is what I get from my grandmom, so I will bring for the future as well.
What sets the Prego brand apart from other Italian restaurants?
The authenticity, my old books of recipes that my grandmom gave to me. I actually grew up with my grandmom in the kitchen, and I learned how to start to cook, is right? So she gave to me a book, which is few hundred of recipes, and I extract some of them. So this is will become a Prego recipe book.
How has your grandmother influenced your style of cooking now?
When I was, you said, 7 years old, and I was around my grandma, looking her cooking every day, pasta, pizza, tiramisu. She went to the market back and have a very simple, rustic ingredients, and then she do so beautiful dishes out of that. And I was amazed for how can she do things like this? And I say, oh, I can't. One day I may do that. And now, I can say not now, but since I become a chef, I keeping this way to cook my food, which is traditional, original Italian food. Very simple, very authentic, and this is what I want to keep in going and doing for the future.
So what challenges are there in cooking Italian cuisine for the Asian and the South Asian taste buds?
This is not that difficult because Italy is just in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, which we have 7,000 kilometers of coast. And we go from the north to the south with 21 regions, which are, every region have different food. So to the north we are very, let's say it's cooler, so it's more heavy food, more fatty food. But when you go to the south, it's more spicy, because we are going to the hotter place, so it's more spicy, a lot of more herbs. And I saw when I come in Thailand, was 28 years ago, this it can combine very well. We can combine a lot of food from Italy exported to Asia, which is fit very well here.
You bring over 100 family recipes to Prego. Now, what's your favorite dish to make?
I mean, there is plenty of favorite dish, but if I have to choose one, I will choose a risotto. Risotto for me, when we talk about risotto, you can have thousands of different plates. It's called a risotto. Different risotto can be with seafood, can be with fish, can be with meat, can be with sausages, can be vegetables. It's endless, the way to make risotto. It's so beautiful to make risotto. I can never stop to do that.
What are we going to see at Prego Colombo on your menu?
Since we are right to the coast, for sure we will have a lot of nice seafood, because I went to the market, which is just right next to Prego, and I was amazed to see all the fresh seafood and fish that they arrive daily. So I literally went to the market. And it's amazing, this market. There's so many crustaceans and food, and anything is there, together with a lot of vegetables and herbs and spices. So this will be a good, a part of influence of Prego Colombo menu, for sure.
This is a camel cart, and right behind me is the new home at 33 Columbagay Mawatha Navala. Hermitage Gallery presents an unusual collection carefully gathered from enthralling regions of South and Southeast Asia. What began as a hobby for two women, Safia and Yasmin, who enjoy the whimsy of an Aladdin's cave where treasures are seen in wondrous masterpieces, artifacts and stories. Hermitage is truly a treasure trove of hand-picked antique and artisanal furniture, art and collectible craft, added to with the esoteric beauty of beautifully crafted ethnic and tribal silver jewellery inlaid with coloured and semi-precious stones, each telling a tale. Here's to good fortune all around. We'll be back next week.